Hello, we are back, Miss Eisler and I, for another Wellness Wednesday. We took a little break last week. Had a little trouble coordinating our schedules, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It leaves you wanting these tips more, doesn't
Yes.
it? That's what we thought.
Yes. And we both had boundaries last week. We were like, you know what? It's a crazy hectic week, so you know what? Let's try it again next week.
Yes. So today we want to talk about, as it relates to boundaries, like our emotional boundaries and being mindful and aware that most of us, I think more than us that we think, are people that absorb others' energy and others' emotions.
Yeah.
And when you're a teacher and you're in education and you're working with children and there's so many emotions and personalities, and we may not even be aware of how much of other people's energy and emotions that we're absorbing into our own body, and to be mindful of where we can set boundaries there for not taking those emotions home.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it does happen. Like, Miss Bucklin said, we are taking in so much. And if you're a person who's an empath, like I am, Miss Bucklin is, you don't even understand and realize how much you are taking in until you're at the point where you're stressed and it becomes too overwhelming. So we've been talking a lot about just the idea of, being mindful, number one, like knowing where you are as far as your emotions, knowing how much you are taking in, and if you are taking in other people's feelings and emotions, but also the art of like detachment, which is really, really important. And detachment doesn't mean that you aren't, empathetic, or you aren't understanding or compassionate. It just means that you are setting those emotional boundaries so that you have enough, you know enough room for yourself. You're not pouring from an empty cup or a half empty cup, so just being mindful to observe things and not absorb so much, because there are so many things that goes on as a person who works in education and with children, and not only with children but also other adults around you too. So just being mindful of where you are. One thing that really helps me when I am like leaving for the day and I'm like, you know what, I don't even think I have processed everything that has gone on that day. At the end of the day, I lock my door, my office door, and I just sit and I listen to my music. I say a prayer if I need to. I sit and meditate if I need to, because I want to make sure that I'm not taking on everything that has gone or transpired throughout the day. So that's one thing that really, really helps me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And leaving it here, right?
Leaving it
Being
here.
mindful of and
Yes.
aware of what's mine and what do I need to detach from, while still being compassionate from others. One tip I'll leave us with before we leave, one thing that I like to do, I learned this when I was studying Reiki, is called dry bathing. And we're not even aware of the energies and the emotions that are being stored in our own body that are from someone else. So just even a couple times during the day or before you leave, it's really simple. You just use your hands, you cross across your body, top to bottom, like an X, and then you move the energy off of your arms. So cross your body, move it off your arms. That's called dry bathing. It just releases that stored up energy from the stress and what has happened during the day. So it's a great way to set boundaries. And we'll probably be back talking about boundaries again, but wanted to leave you with this extra note for your own personal health and wellness, and for Wellness Wednesday. Thanks for letting us share.
Another thing we were talking about too is making sure that you are practicing self-care. And I know a lot of times when we talk about self-care, we feel like it has to be this big and major thing, like, oh, I'm going to the spa, or I'm going to go and, get a full spa makeover and get my nails and my toes done and things like that. But self-care is a way of living. It's not, it doesn't have to be this big and grand thing, right? So self-care can be something as small as listening to music on your way to work. It can be something Like maybe you cutting off the radio or the music when you're leaving work because you need a time to kind of process and get yourself together. It can be taking a walk, during the day. That's something that I want to start doing since we have this nice park that's across the street.
Sure.
So just those small things, and just remember to take care of yourself.
Yep. Take care of yourself, have boundaries to protect your own energy so that you can leave work at work and go home and be who you need to be for yourself first and foremost, and for those that are in your family and around you. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.